Alrighty, so here we go again. I'm in the proximity of Film Club, where I am parked now. I'm happy to say parked because perfectly fine. Don't cost nothing here. Uh, I would not be allowed to on any other day, assuming it's between 6 and 4, and Monday to Friday I would not be allowed between 4 and 8 either, in the PM that is. Drink of the day is Cola Zero. Bottle opener of choice is a knife sheath. There we go, that worked quite well. Better than I expected, to be fair. Cheers. I've been wondering about a few things. How to best put it? I believe simplification for education is dangerous, assuming it is not disclosed as such. But I have an internal conflict because I also chose to refer to what I feel when things just feel wrong, which is the best way of putting it in words for me. I've decided to use painful, which is a simplification of the issue at hand. Now, my conflict is I don't want to have to disclose it being a figurative use of the word instead of a literal one. Every time I use it for that purpose, that is, because it's worse than painful. So it could just as well be painful. Actually, it'd still not be as bad if it were painful, literally. But I do believe that for education, at least, simplification kills or does harm. Kills might be a bit of an overstatement there. Disclaimer. That's a simplification. Ooh. Yeah. I believe the for education bit is the only bit that saved my arse from me saying something is painful to do, from being dangerous in my own eyes. To be saying, that is. Because with school, I mean regular school, not even uni, teachers regularly simplify, and some of them aren't even aware they're simplifying anymore because they've been in the system so long. They learnt an analogy, and then they just stick to it, and eventually it becomes their truth of how reality works. Though usually it's not the case, at least not on a simpler level as they think. One example would be molecules, enzymes, and reactivity with one another. Teachers like to say is a key in a lock, and I even had my second to last, third to last biology teacher say it's literally like that, but is more dimensional, because you also have all attraction and so on of molecules within those enzymes, or parts of those enzymes, which is not a physical aspect. Obviously I'm not a biology nut, so I don't actually know how it works, but I highly suspect chemistry would play a big role in partaking in that, because surprise, is applied chemistry, you know. But I have multiple instances of that throughout my education in regular school, where I end up thinking something just because we were told it that way, and I'm starting to question a lot of it now. But there is other things I've not questioned myself thus far. For example, not being allowed to wear sunglasses while driving through a tunnel. That's just a thing I learnt in both driving schools I was in. One I did theory in, and another one I did practical in. The ADAC, the German Automobile Association, Allgemeine Deutsche Automobilclub, says so too, but they also say you aren't allowed to wear them when it's dark, which is total BS. I know that for sure. Now the thing is, obviously I could get a doctor's note, but I don't see a reason to have to get a doctor's note to not drive through tunnels like this, because that's more dangerous than wearing shades in my eyes. In my eyes, in that case. Oh my god, that's actually quite funny. Sorry for anyone believing in a authoritative figure of their spirituality with the name of God. I did not mean any disrespect by saying, oh my god. I guess I do have a god, I just don't refer to it as God. Huh. Funny how that works. Life works in mysterious ways. I actually really enjoyed my drive here from my flat. Before I left, I put in 20 litres of diesel, my last spare jug, into the car. I'd done just over £1,000 with the 80-litre tank of this car and the 20-litre jug I'd already put in, which puts my approximate consumption at 9 and a bit litres per 100k, because the car do have a reserve. That's not too bad. I really enjoyed driving here, just window open, music loud. Smoking, I smoked significantly more than I have in the recent past while driving, but it was pleasant, so I didn't mind. It was pleasant, so I didn't mind. Smoking is an interesting subject. I believe, well, not I believe, I know, but Kurzgesagt recently released a video on smoking, which I approve of. It's a real good public service announcement of smoking, because it doesn't neglect the benefits of what get people into smoking in the first place, which I guess not many do. But full respect to Philip for that, I guess, and his crew. I'm still really rather happy about my thesis supervisor, my aspired thesis supervisor, agreeing to do supervision for my thesis. I don't believe I'll have a hard time reasoning with uni, because they tend to not care for applications, they just grant them no matter what. I don't know if it's the same with thesis supervision, but I would be surprised if it were different. And I do have good reasons. In the end of the day, we do not have any uni internal qualified profs who are into video art, and this external tutor I have chosen to supervise me is very into video art, so the application should write itself. Then again, I still got to do it, so meh. I believe I'll manage. One thing in the spirit of delegation I managed today is I delegated unlocking for film club. It's not theoretically my practical duty, but I have taken it on enough that the normal expectation is for me to be doing it. And I certainly don't mind usually. It's just today I didn't feel like it, so I asked someone else would, and someone else volunteered. Because we are but a handful of people with key privileges. It's bloody warm. It's about 25 degrees centigrade and pretty humid, which is why I've been using my towel. But I did manage to get one of the few spots in the shade there is. So that's something, I guess. Recently in conversation, my oopsie came up, the one I've written a prepared statement for. And another friend had something similar. The only difference is they didn't call the plod on themselves. And the plod later came to them, just to cost a whole load of bureaucracy and a lawyer, and not come to any result anyway. So I might have to reconsider on how to deal with future oopsies, because I thus far consider red tape involved. I don't call the plod because I can't hack the red tape. But their story makes me think, well, red tape might very well be relevant, I guess. Well, not the red tape, but it might be necessary due to otherwise there being more red tape. Which is just a joke, I mean, come on. I have all but properly decided, but I am leaning heavily toward not suing the Berlin government for several years due to not being disabled enough, just because it's going to cost my insurance hella money. And I don't think the odds of gaining anything from it are enough. So I got an appointment on Tuesday with the lawyer, and I'll probably tell him. I'll probably ask him first, what do you reckon's our chances? If they don't say 90% or higher, it's not worth it for me to pursue it. Rather not stress the insurance and keep good standing with the insurance, because who knows when I'll need them again. That having been said, the insurance have already paid for itself just with getting disability and putting in bad word. Well, a good word for getting more. They did not grant it, but that does not mean one have to sue. And realistically, if I hired a lawyer to do that without insurance, would have cost me 4 digits, which is something I do not have, and the insurance have not cost me 4 digits in total thus far. Actually, at end of this year or latest mid next year, it should go to 4 digits paid for insurance, but it's already made its money, so meh. I guess that's how you can tell I'm German. I like insurance. I mean, in the end of the day, insurance is gambling against yourself. Which means no matter the outcome, you should be happy unless the insurance people have a good reason to reject your claim and manage to. And that would be not having read the small print, the fine print. Or not being entitled to a claim for insurance, admittedly. Then again, they are capitalistic, which means they are incentivized to reject claims even if they are legit. Which is a problem I do have with the concept of insurance. But it's not B5 with insurance, it's B5 with capitalism, and I don't have a better solution thus far, so meh. You know. Guess that's how that works. I've been just randomly with my regular tours going grocery shopping and so on in the recent past been looking for driving schools that offer the B196 expansion of the B license, of the up to 3.5 ton license. And I believe there is one in a bike shop, Indian bike shop, same building, that offer that license, which is probably one I'll end up going with once I get around to it, which I don't know if it'll happen within the next year, but hell, I like having my things planned out, so I'm prepared for the eventuality. Then again, once I sign up for that license is going to cost $700. And additionally, the PPE I'll want to not have to wear driving school PPE that a load of people have worn, and which I'm not comfortable because it's figuratively painful for me to be wearing. So buying my own PPE is going to cost another 700, maybe $1,000. It's not going to be the fanciest, but it's going to be good enough for a few years at least, so you can always upgrade later, you know. And in the end of the day, you buy the PPE for motorcycles, so you have something between the road and you. Should you end up between asphalt and a lot of movement, which means you probably don't want to be cheaping out on it. So, nah. I mean, I have a helmet already, but the thing is, the helmet I have is not European norm approved. It is theoretically legal to wear on German roads as a helmet, because it's like American racing approved. But I'd still rather have a full face helmet where I know is European norm approved. Preferably the most current one, though I'd be up with the second latest one as well. Just because the price difference between them is a couple $100, and I'm not willing to pay that for a more up-to-date norm. For now, anyways. One thing I already do with the car, which I have in the past and still do observe motorcyclists doing, is using the accelerator to make yourself noticed. Because I don't always want to honk the horn. Yesterday night I felt bad for honking the horn at, I don't know, whatever time I got home, around 20 past 10 or so. I honked my horn just shortly, because the car didn't see me and was going to cut me off real bad. I felt bad for that because there is people living around there. So one thing I'll manage on the regular is to not use my horn and just to clutch in and floor it, which might not be the most friendly way of showing people hey, but surprise, one of only got lights in the front, one can flash at people. So if someone's next to you, they aren't even going to see him. So you've got to do something audible, because, I mean, I could pick up my torch and shine at them, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I'm very confident that's illegal. I mean, I could, but it probably would just distract them and wouldn't lead to any results that are in my interest. So there is no reason to. Yeah, funny how I have a car torch, the one you just saw, And I'll have a torch. Yeah, they're both mag lights, and they both have aftermarket LED bulbs because they're not the fancy new mag lights, because I don't like the way they can change mode when you turn them off and on again. This one do have a stroboscope, so if I turn it off and on again now, right away, it'll be in strobing mode, but that's fine by me. I mean, you know, there's something sturdy in your hands for a torch, that's for sure. The stupid shit people buy when they have excess capital, and then, but a year later, well, a year and a half later, they complain that they're broke. Funny how that works. Then again, I haven't had income in my life, so once I do, I'll be putting stuff aside. Bloody hell, it is really warm. Let me just see what the temperature actually is. Got to turn off the ignition all the way. There we go. Just realised I have the car stereo on, which is not good. There we go. The outside temperature is 23 degrees centigrade, so it's bloody humid. And obviously I am sitting in a metal box, so I have the window open on the side. Well, a metal and glass box anyways. You see light there. That light is not from within the motor vehicle. It's from the exterior. Ooh, fancy, you know. I am looking forward to seeing some of the people again today. Film club. Well, I almost think it's a regular thing by now, because I do see most of them every week, but I am still looking forward to seeing them. Those going to be very draining for energy, for spoons in spoon theory. Just because, hell, I mean, was it going to be minimum? Yeah, minimum 3 hours, more probably 4 hours. And that's a lot of time to be spending with people. And there's a lot of people. And to honour the people as individuals, to recognise them as individual beings, I do make an effort to learn people's names, which means by now I've gotten to know about half of them by name. But I also have asked everyone several times, most of them double digits. And every time someone new joins, I ask them too, you know. I might be quicker at learning names if I only asked one person per day, but then I'd have to pick which person to ask. This way, I'll just ask everyone. Unless I'm not in a position where I can afford to absorb the data, in which case I do not ask anyone, because it's wasting people's breath, time and attention. Telling me their name if I can't remember it, or have no chance of even hearing it, is waste of energy on everyone's part. My part for asking, their part for telling me, you know. So in case like that, I don't, I guess. Funny how that works. And I also ask people how their name is spelt, just because there's dozens of ways to spell many a name. Though most common ones are usually one or two, and considering we're in Germany, it's usually the German version. But you never know, because there is international peoples here. Surprise, it's an international city. The one bit that lead to confusion with that is I ask people how they're spelt using the NATO alphabet, because that have been a standard since '57, which is longer than most everyone at Film Club, besides perhaps 3 members whose names I know to spell, have been around. So, I mean, the most recent updated publication was 2010 or so, the International Telecommunication Union, for radio telephony. Admittedly, is primarily for airspace navigation, but still the international standard for spelling. There is no more international standard. And yes, there is a German standard, and we are in Germany, but that have changed at least 4 times within the past 100 years. Which is crazy, because, surprise, once a standard keeps changing, it's not worth much as a standard. Standards are made to remain. Otherwise, people learn them and they're already outdated. They can be augmented, have additions put to them, but you shouldn't really redact or revise standards to the point where the previous definition of said standard is no longer included within the new definition. Then again, we have standards in this country. We have Deutsches Institut für Normierung, formerly known as Deutsche Industrienorm, which is a German industrial norm, now known as German Institute for Norms. Apparently they changed name sometime. I only realised day before yesterday. But it's quite nice because, admittedly, they are paid entrance. You can't view all the norms officially, but they do have expenses, so I understand why it's paid. But I'm a broke student, so I don't pay for it. I just use secondary sources and or Wikipedia. Wikipedia for finding the secondary sources, that is. And that works perfectly fine. And norms are such a beautiful thing because they unite humankind. Admittedly, DINs only unite German kind. Then again, we've gotten to the point where DIN norms, or DI norms, I don't know. I can't say DIN norms because then there's norm, but still, DIN norms are widely adopted enough that there is DIN-Ns, which is German industry and European norms, or DIN ISO or DIN-N ISO. There is many a version, many of which go beyond the German space. I mean, even just paper, hell, metric paper. Most of the world uses DIN paper because it's the superior paper to have. There's an aspect ratio of 1 to square root of 2, which means if you fold it in half, you get the next norm down from size, or up. The numbers go up, the size go down. It's just beautiful, you know. You just have to come up with standards. Oh, I am sweating. Then again, this is kind of a sauna. Is it though? I'm opening up the windows and risking a lot of noise pollution. But I just want to see if it's just the car atmosphere, if it's the overall atmosphere. And the car was contributing significantly to it feeling like a sauna. Still bloody warm. But it's not baking anymore, so meh, you know. Today I brought my own drinks, and not just for here, but also for film club. First off, because I'm bloody broke, and €2 a drink is too much for me to be spending. And second off, because when I do the bar here at Film Club, people keep coming to me and ordering Cola Zero. All the cola we have here at Film Club, or the co-working space Film Club have, is Fritz Cola. And they order zero. This is the zero. It says zero right here for you in mirrored. But the co-working space Film Club happening do not have zero. There is without sugar or there is regular. And I have to keep asking people, do you mean without sugar or do you want regular? Because the regular also has a black label and the without sugar has a white label. So the inverse of the regular. And this is zero. It has a black label with red instead of white. And different text, obviously. I guess that's something where we do not have norms. Ordering of pop, soda, Coke, whatever you want to call it. That'd be the American versions. Fizzy drinks. There we go. That's an international version. Fizzy sugar drinks or fizzy sweet drinks. Yeah, we don't have those normed. You can have Orna Sugar might be the zero of another brand in taste, but taste is hard to norm. I'm sure there is norms for taste. I mean, hell, you can buy norm taste samples, so I can't though, because they're bloody expensive. Surprise! Pretty sure you can buy a norm sencha tea. Senchaharu maybe even, who knows? Maybe even a norm gyokuro. Then again, that's most certainly not a German norm because German tea market for Japanese tea is a bit small. You never know. Yeah, I'll probably name this Standards. And I've been messing around with making the thumbnail. The thumbnail, there we go. Let me put up a thumbnail. There we go. That's a thumbnail. I've been messing around with thumbnail and title combinations, and that's actually quite fun. Just seeing what I can make work. Admittedly, in this, I am limiting accessibility. Let me just put away the knife whose sheath I used to open the bottle. I am limiting accessibility. Then again, this is a video format. It is not a podcast. Though I reserve the right to release it as a podcast eventually, just because there's so many podcasts that are initially video formats which lack in audio format, lack quality in this. But odds are I'll never. So sorry if you're blind. Use OCR together with text-to-speech to be able to read the thumbnails, because they are part of the titles. Then again, I have 5 of you watching. Thank you very much for watching, by the way. But statistically, it's improbable any of you are unsighted or poor-sighted. So then again, that doesn't mean I should neglect it. But it is a matter of fact, this is a video format. And it is on YouTube, which is for video format. So I guess I'll just get something from talking to myself. And if I don't have myself right here on the screen to be talking to, I'm just talking with thin air, and then I feel a bit crazy, you know, a bit more than normal. Anyways, I hope you don't mind feeling crazy either. Stay safe. I'll see you around. Cheerio.